Alexx Stuart, founder of Lox Tox Life and author of Lox Tox Life, the book. And I'm thrilled to have you touring my pantry today. And I'm going to say fridge as well, because I keep a lot of our flowers, nuts, seeds, things like that in the fridge for freshness. So how I came to found Lox Tox Life was really because of, at the start it was because of my own personal desire for change. I was sick all the time with tonsillitis, and I think you find a lot of people who move into the health space or making health products or writing about health topics or becoming naturopaths or doctors even have had personal struggles with health, and I'm definitely of that same ilk. And I always like to say, let your mess be your message. And so it's that beautiful idea of when you learn really useful stuff that helped you, then it's almost like it's your privilege to then be able to share it with others. And today I'm giving you a little tour of my pantry, and as I said, fridge. So let's have a little look. I'm a junkie for dried herbs. I went through a phase where I didn't stock dried herbs at all. And then I found out that if you buy dried herbs in a bulk food shop, unfortunately they have to be irradiated when they come through customs. So it's one of the things I don't buy in bulk. I buy pre-packaged organic spices and herbs. Dulse flakes, a huge fan. These guys are like multi-minerals. They're little purple flakes. And dulse flakes have huge amounts of trace minerals. So adding a little tablespoon of this to soup, stews, casseroles really just boosts your mineral intake. And most of our soils these days are quite mineral deficient, so it's a great thing to add. And with little kids, I remember when my son was little, he got the special job of putting on the purple sprinkles onto his scrambled eggs or into his soup. And you can make these sorts of things fun for kids, like shaky kind of stuff, all this kind of stuff. And then this little guy, some of you might recognize from our low tox box, the organic gut tea, and that's just got all the good stuff for the gut. I absolutely love this tea. It's really soothing, and marshmallow is really important. It's like a cocooning kind of protective herb, and or root I should say. Ginger, fennel, peppermint, lemon balm, melissa, some will know that as in the essential oil land. Really good for the gut. 3 Tulsi, favourite tea of all time. I'll tell you why. 2 years ago when I discovered, well, it was actually 1 year ago when I finally got to the bottom of things, but I discovered that I was severely compromised by water damage building. I had mold illness, I still do, I'm still recovering. Takes forever, apparently. And Tulsi is fantastic for reducing inflammation and histamine in the body, and a lot of people who have CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, or mold illness, have really high histamine in the blood, and I did, and sometimes still do if I have little relapses or if I go somewhere and the aircon's full of mold, that kind of stuff. And 3 Tulsi, like a double bag of really concentrated hit of that, is just fabulous. And Puck is a beautiful British founded brand by Sebastian Pohl, who I had on the podcast. Amazing guy, really gorgeous company. Now I've got some Rapadura sugar there for baking. As you can see, it's quite empty. It was my son's 9th birthday on Sunday, so I made a lot of yummy treats. That's some ground cinnamon.
So how is the sugar different to normal sugar?
Well, Rapadura sugar is just a completely unrefined sugar, so you'll find it's got a few more vitamins if you need a little bit of convincing to have the sweet stuff every now and then, a bit of justification. Brown sugar, get this, is white sugar then coloured with spent molasses. So, you know, Rapadura sugar just doesn't have any of that weird stuff going on. It was always and is always just dehydrated cane juice in powder form. There's some rice malt syrup. I love to use that for making these little guys, which are from my book, the cocoa caramel chews. So these are like making your own lollies. And rice malt syrup creates caramels like no other because of its high glucose as opposed to fructose. I served a huge jar of these. I actually did an Instagram post on it if anyone wants to read it, at Lox Tox Life, at my son's birthday instead of goodie bags. And there was something really gorgeous about all these little hands reaching into an old school lolly jar and taking a couple of lollies instead of just getting some plastic junk fest that the most of the lolly bags are, and that's not a judgment of anyone who uses lolly bags, absolutely not, but for me it was a promise to try and start being more conscious myself, even when it feels socially uncomfortable to do that. That's the real trick, to actually move through that discomfort of looking, being a little different, having to justify why you've done something differently, and we were fine. Everybody loved them. Up here, popcorn is a pretty staple little treat in this house. I love that you can get organic popcorn kernels for like $5 or $6 for a bag, and this will make about 50 of those. It's such good value for a treat for the kids. This is teff grain. I actually got this from a GoodnessMe box, and the teff as an emergency packet food, this is as good as it comes in terms of whole food packet food. These pancakes rock. They're really, really good. Hemp seeds, love these on yogurt with nut seeds smoothies, also great. Full of 369 omegas, one of the best plant sources of that. Shredded coconut, that's always handy. And then linseeds, which are really good for boiling up with some water until you make kind of like an egg whitey solution, and then sipping like a little tablespoon worth in your tea. It's quite gluggy like egg white, but it's awesome for the gut.
So, have you always been healthy or low tox?
No. The first 2 pages of my book paint the picture for what my life was as a 26-year-old, and back then, I think just to give you a couple of highlights, I probably drank 4 or 5 standard drinks a day, maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and smoked a pack a day. So no, I haven't. And I think, you know, everyone's just learning and doing the best they can, and then teaching others once they know, and helping their friends, helping their family. And I think if we approach things that way, we're all going to be far more accepting of the fact that it's about meeting people where they're at and journeying from there, rather than feeling like we all have to reach this perfect state that never existed in the first place within a week of realizing that some of that stuff's not so healthy. This has been like a 12-year journey, and sure, there were a couple of moments there where I was really quick to change lots of stuff in a couple of weeks kind of thing, but then you plateau and you kind of sit with that change until you feel super comfy, and then you change more stuff. So while I wasn't always healthy, and you know, I'm certainly not perfect by any means, it really is just about thinking, well, what's the little thing that I could do this week, and then starting there.